Welcome to my new video, Risk Management. In this video, I am going to talk about planned risk management. A project manager's work is to prevent problems and should not focus on dealing with them only. Project managers often just focus on threats, what can go wrong, and negatively impact the project. Do not forget, there can be also positive impacts, good risk called opportunities. Risk can affect a project negatively or positively. The intent of risk management is to increase the chance of positive risk and reduce the impact of negative risk. Project risk management includes the processes needed to identify and analyze risk on a project along with strategies for handling and controlling them. Risks are considered uncertainties in a project. You may or may not know what will happen if a risk occurs, but it's important to identify risk as early as possible so the team can decide how to handle them and request risk reserves in case they happen. We have four categories in risk. First one is variability risk, which looks at uncertainty in a planned event, like there being more errors than expected or production is below target. Second one is ambiguity risk. This is about what might be uncertain in future. An example could be the complexity in the project. Third is project resilience, which means with how well a project can bounce back from unknown risk. The project team might include extra contingency reserves for unknown risk and be flexible if they do happens. And the last is integrated risk management. This goes beyond the project into the program or portfolio. These type of risks need to be looked at collectively so the organization can plan for them. The first process in risk management is called plan risk management. Plan risk management is a critical process in any project. As you know, each project inherently has risk. Some are major while others are minor. Regardless of the risk, each one needs to be managed. And this plan identifies how the project team will manage those risks. The risk management process falls under the planning process group and it outlines how to perform the risk management activities for a project. The key benefit of this process is that it describes how the project team will identify, evaluate, rank, and manage each risk. So let's talk about the inputs. First input is project charter, which contains high level risk may have been identified in a project charter. It's also important to review it for any other information that may lead to project risk. Next is stakeholder. The stakeholder register is another main input since it has the same and name of each stakeholders. Talking to stakeholders help provide a risk threshold for the project so you know who is risk averse or who is willing to take risk. Next is project management plan. Make sure the risk plan is in alignment with the project management plan. And we have two common inputs, enterprise environmental factors and organizational process assets. Let's talk about tools and techniques. First tool and technique is data analysis. More specifically, stakeholder analysis. This provides detail you need for risk management like their role on the project, attitudes, what their stake is in the project and more. And we have two common tool and techniques like other processes is expert judgment and meetings. Let's talk about the outputs. The risk management plan is a component of project management plan that describes how risk management activities will be structured and performed. The risk management plan may include some or all of the following elements. So let's talk about the elements of the risk management plan. First is risk strategy. It describes the general approach to managing risk on this project. Second is methodology, which defines the specific approach, tools and data sources that will be used to perform risk management on the project. Means you will specify what tools and techniques and methods you are going to use when you will actually perform your risk management work. And you need to specify roles and responsibilities in this document, which defines the lead, support, risk management team for each type of activity described in the risk management plan and clarifies their roles and responsibilities. This section explains who will do what risk management work. Did you realize that stakeholders outside the project team may have roles and responsibilities regarding the risk management as well? And we have funding, which identifies the funds needed to perform activities related to the project management, risk management, establishes protocols for the application of contingencies and management reserves. We have timing, defines when and how often the project risk management processes will be performed to the project life cycle, and establishes risk management activities for inclusion into project activities. We have risk categories, which provide a mean for grouping individual project risk. A common way to structure risk categories is with a risk breakdown structure. Like in this example, here what RBS might look like. It shows all the project risk at 0 level, then level 1 breaks them down into categories like technical risk, like management risk, commercial risk and external risk. And then in level 2 we have actual risk like scope definition, requirement definition, technical processes, technology, technical interfaces, project management, operations management, organization, etc. etc. This definition of risk probability and impact, which can be seen here. You set these parameters for the team and define them so they know how to categorize risk. These definitions can be used in the next tool, which is the probability and impact matrix. It shows how probable a risk is to happen and what the impact to the project would be if. We also specify risk appetites, which risk appetites is a general high-level description of risk acceptable to an individual or an organization. For example, a sponsor is willing to accept little risk to the schedule on this project. Risk threshold refers to the specific point at which risk becomes unacceptable. For example, the sponsor will not accept a risk of the schedule being delayed 15 days or longer. This is all about today's lecture. Thank you.